Dear viewers, welcome to the Ice Climbing European Championship Finals 2020 in Oulu, Finland. My name is Daniel Herrera, co-hosting the commentator, joined by...
And Yansha.
Welcome, welcome. So we're just getting ready. The competitors have just come out to watch the routes. So how it works here is that the competitors have done the qualifiers already during the day, and the 8 best climbers of the day are now coming to the finals. They have been in an isolation room for the last 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
At this point, they're spending a few minutes maybe planning their decisions that they'll be making while they're climbing. What kind of things would they be thinking about?
Planning is super important. These are really important minutes for the competitors' performance. They have to come out and they have never seen the route before, and they will only have this minutes to watch the route. So they want to watch potential hard moves. What's the move sequence? It's very important to know with which hand you want to come on which handle to the holds. So you are planning your move sequence. Okay, I take the axe on the lower hold and I go that to the next one, and then I switch hands here or don't switch hands, or how you do. You want to look at potential tricky spots and how you would do them. You might be able to see some competitors down there with binoculars. They're that tricky. They want to see exactly how do you grab a hold, from which direction, how do you place your pick. It's very, very tricky. We see here the structure that we have here in Oulu, our tower. We're gonna have a single route for men and a single route for women. We've already been through the qualifiers, which was 2 routes, the same routes actually for men and women. And now they are different routes, one for men, one for women. We can see here on the right, you have the men's route. It starts on the small tower. It has usually a small vertical section that tends to be a bit technical. It could be seen easy as a warm-up before it gets to the very steep overhang. Then you have the overhang. That's a very long overhang, if you ask me.
How many meters is that overhang?
Overhang, I think that's around 12 meters.
We have our men's lead final start list here. Number 1, we have Keenan Griscom from the USA. Number 2, we have Veli-Matti Lasonen from Finland. 3, Albert Kaikkonen, also from Finland. 4, Jan Manzeluski from Poland. 5, Tapio Alhansvuo from Finland. 6, Kuutti Heikkilä from Finland. 7, Dennis van Hoek from Netherlands. And 8th, the final men's competitor, Pauli Salminen.
And it's important to mention that this is the starting order, which is the exact reverse of their qualification score. So the ones that obtain the highest score, Pauli Salminen in this case, he goes last. Now for the women's starting list, we have first Lindsay Levin from the USA. After her will come Svetlana Piankovskaya from Russia. Vilma Törvi from Finland will come third. From the Netherlands, Annick Leif. Mira Alhansvuo from Finland, number 5. Ekaterina Vlasova from Russia, number 6. Enni Bertling will be number 7. And the last one, and who qualified first, Marianne van der Steen from the Netherlands. So we have our first competitor, Keenan Grisco. He's already after the first straight section and making his way onto the overhang. He's climbing as fast as he can, and that looks pretty fast indeed.
So what's the strategy that a lot of these climbers will use to attack this overhang section?
I guess that's a personal thing, but at the same time, you just try to get past it as fast as possible so it doesn't load up on your muscles. It's always a balance of trying to go as fast as possible and trying to get a bit of rest. Stopping for a little second to shake will bring blood back to your arms, but that also robs you of precious seconds. He has just clipped clip number 11. That's excellent progress. He's just about to be done with the heavy overhanging wall.
And so these figure 4 and 9 moves that he's doing around the rope, that's got to be another thing to think about, not getting yourself tangled up in there.
Yeah. That's it's a funky move when you see it and you're not an ice climber, to see someone put their leg up there on their wrist like that. It's done for many reasons. Sometimes to get more stable on a hold, sometimes to get more reach. I think in this case he was doing it to get more reach, probably. And also because the feet are not so stable when they have to be above your arms.
And here he is on this moving form.
That's an excellent move. He's doing great. He went from figure 9 to figure 4 there to make a drop. That's pretty power intensive when you have to drop on your axe like that, dropping downwards.
And swinging over to that hold.
He makes the swing. That's excellent. He's doing really good. The next hold looks very tricky. It's another one of these metal krukonogi holds. You can perhaps see it soon. It has not one ball, but 2 balls. So it's kind of a strange play there where you can jam your axe in the middle of the 2 balls.
Just missed the clip the first time, but
You
he's got
really
it
don't,
now.
You really don't want to lose some energy and time missing the clip.
Yeah. And especially after the rope goes around such a sort of circuitous route, hard to pull it up each time, I would think.
Yeah,
A
the
lot of
longer you
force.
climb, the more friction you're going to have on the rope. It's getting the crowd riled up, and the crowd responds. That is to say, if you get 1 clip more than any opponent, you automatically win. That's most important. If you get to the same clip, then it matters what hold you were. So if you made it same clip but 1 more hold, you still win. And then there's like a tiny decimal part of were you on 1 hold but you touched the other one, or did you manage to release briefly from the one before? Those are decimal points there. I believe there's only 3 more clips to make.
And at this point, the angle of the wall has changed too. So
Yes.
it's a little steeper of an overhang.
I believe the root setters wanted to set some interesting hold there, but it doesn't seem to be a challenge for Keenan.
And he's using his hand at the moment.
That is totally allowed, yes. The axes, in a sense, are optional. For most of the small metal holds, they're the only way of moving forward, but you're allowed to use your hand.
And does that maybe save you some time?
He is 1 move away from the top. Clips number 20, and there's only 1 more to clip. I am now confused. I believe he timed out, yes, because he came down pretty smoothly, and I'm pretty sure that the top is the next hold.
Yes,
with 1
it
more
looks
clip.
like it.
Fortunately, we don't have a view of the timer over here. But that was an amazing performance by Keenan Griscom.
So congrats. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're feeling, how that climb was for you?
That was awesome. It was really tiring. Having 10 minutes long for a route is pretty rare and a really long time limit.
So what would you say was the trickiest part of the route?
I would probably say the trickiest part of the route is around clip 12 or 13. The holds there are really slippery, and it's kind of awkward kicking around corners.
I can see that. Oh, the next female performer is already up. Lindsay Levin. She's from Team USA as well. She is your teammate.
Lindsay and I climbed together a decent amount.
Cool.
Let's go, Lindsay.
Let's go, Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay is quite exceptional at continuing even though some things go wrong.
And you need to do that. You need to recover mentally. You can't let that phase
you need to be able to
especially at the
leave the
beginning.
mistakes behind and focus on the next movement.
Awesome. Do you feel you make any mistakes on your route?
I wish I had some more endurance, so I could have done it faster. And besides that, it felt really good.
All right. See the timer there? She has 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. And time goes so fast. So fast.
And she's about a little more than a third of the way. But it takes some time to clip into each of these.
And obviously, you're not going to climb as fast at the end as at the beginning. You're going to be tired, so you're going to need more time at the end. Ooh, when she pops.
And a slip.
All good. She seems to be having a good time. We can see a replay there of how she took that ball hold.
Really impressive to stay on.
Now we can see she took her body weight a bit too far away from the wall there. Pulled too much on the hold. And she was just about to match. She knew that it was dangerous. She was just about to match. But she came down. It happens. We have a local star from Oulu here, Veli-Matti Lasonen, Veikka. He's preparing to go up in the final.
And I see his left axe is on a stone hold there. And those I've heard are notoriously a little bit more difficult. Could you talk a little bit about how those work?
Some of the holds, they have actual little dimples or holes that you can use to set your axe, but usually the stone holds, they don't. So you gotta be very careful for them not to slip off. Lindsay, how did that feel? I saw you matching on that ball hold at the beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't really so I could pull on that, just so I could fix my body position enough to like make that move.
Did you feel it? It looked like it popped, like one of those popped.
Yeah, I got the next hold, and then the one I had put pressure on popped. So.
Okay. Did that affect you mentally in any way? Nice.
We have that hold in the gym I practice in, and it pops. I pop on it all the time.
You gotta train your mind as well, not just the arms.
That's the hardest part.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Great climbing.
Thank you.
And what position is the axe in there?
I guess that's a normal forward position, forward hold. He's holding it from the second handle. The axes usually have two handles, the lower and the upper handle. Some axes have three handles. I like to call the third one the suicide handle.
Why?
Because that's usually, if you grab it from there, the axe will pop. But it depends. I'm not that experienced, and I've seen many, especially the female climbers, maybe because they're a bit shorter, they tend to grab it from a third handle, and it works for them. Maybe I just need to learn. It's also something that I was discussing now with Ekaterina Vlasova, that you have to be present in the route. You can't really be thinking about 3 moves ahead. You gotta be thinking about this move. Oh, and he's struggling. Those were some serious pumps trying to reach that next hole. That was a long reach. And I guess that's normal. Your arms gotta be so pumped after that overhang.
And also, that's a lot of torque on your body to be swinging.
Yeah, if you notice his
with
body
that
position,
grip.
he's tense in all his body. You cannot just let your ass hang down and just keep your hands locked without anything else in your body. You have to keep tension everywhere.
All through your legs pushing out to keep the crampons hooked in.
Yeah. He left an axe. And he
nice
grabbed the axe.
catch.
There you go. If you ask the older climbers here, they have been climbing for a bit longer. But I think a bit more competitively, the dry tooling and the competition aspect started with this tower a few years ago. Svetlana is making her way from the first holds. She was mentioning that she's been competing for a couple of years outside, but she started already with the Russian Cups, and it turns out that Russia has a pretty big and really competitive internal cup.
Well, that makes sense. A long reach there.
Oh no. That is a shame.
Does she get a second try because she didn't go to the second clip yet?
It seems that that's the case. It's a bit unclear.
I think in the qualifiers that was happening.
For sure in the
but
qualifiers.
The clock kept going.
Yes, so
of
in
course
the
it's
qualifiers,
a huge disadvantage.
That's how it goes. That if you haven't clipped and you fall, you're able to start over. But yeah, as we can see, they're taking the rope from her. That does not apply on the finals. So on the finals, you only get one shot. Now, on the male side, we have our next climber coming up, Alberti Kaikonen. Alberti is not really a local climber. He's from Lahti, from the south of Finland. But he's no stranger. We have seen him here plenty of times, both competing in ice and rock climbing. This first part seems a little bit technical.
And from what I've seen, it seems like it's not infrequent that a hanging volume is at the beginning of one of the routes at the tower here.
Yeah, I guess I think we had an ice barrel last year, just to add a little bit of ice to the ice climbing competition.
So he decided between a few positions for his axe on that hold with the left hand.
Yep.
And this one looks like it's going to allow him to move a little bit more in a certain direction.
Ooh, many power moves there. You're right. The position is key because the right position will give you a few extra centimeters of reach. And with this really long power moves, those centimeters are a huge advantage. So you want to find the optimal, even if you would hold, even if it would not pop on the other direction, it would give you less reach and it would make it harder. And yeah, the routes are hard enough as they are.
We don't need an additional challenge. Swinging over for that hold.
This is a struggle.
Yes.
You can only imagine how pumped he is already. He's done quite a big part of the overhang. And then on top of that, a figure.
And so physically, those are really demanding.
Those are. Imagine you're
Can
putting...
you talk about what's happening that's fatiguing you when you go from one of those to another like this?
Well, there are advantages, right? It gives you reach, it gives you stability, but also
Keeps
you're
your
putting...
weight low on the tool.
Yes.
But so much weight on your wrist.
Yes. All your weight is on one arm, on your wrist, and your hand wants to open as you do that.
And then if you move from one to the other, a huge demand on your core.
Yeah.
He's almost entirely upside down right now.
And that's his rest.
A really graceful transition there.
And that's
so
a
nice.
really big drop. That's an
Yes.
awesome drop. Imagine the power you need when you're exhausted, pumped, and you have to drop onto that arm.
He's dropping almost his entire body weight onto his arm, which has to be still gripped around that axe.
And he keeps going. We also see different technique. So Keenan hooked that while holding on the figure, whereas Alberti, he unloaded his feet first and then hooked. And that seems like a better option now. He was able to do the hook more controlled and save some energy. Ooh, he matches,
Ooh.
and that looks sketchy.
Yes.
Sliding left and right. That's not the position you want. You don't want your tool so deep into the hold. I think he's a bit desperate now. He just wants to move forward, and he pops. Yes, that was an excellent performance by
Really nice.
Alberti Kaikkonen. I'm sure all of these athletes would have no problem doing those moves if they were at the beginning of the route.
Sure. But they're right after such a strenuous portion.
Yeah. You're in a hurry, you're pumped, things are slippery.
So here we have another competitor getting ready. It's Vilma Turvi from Finland.
She's almost a local climber, but not really. She actually lives 4 hours away from here in Seinäjoki, but she feels like a local because she's training here quite often. So we have with us Alberti. That was an amazing performance, man. How do you feel?
I feel so excited. It was so nice to climb the hang, and I struggling there a little bit, and I go in pump, but I get it out the pump.
How do you get out of the pump in the middle of the climb on an overhang like that?
You have to change your hand. It's even just a little bit. If you can, like pump it out, open a little bit, and then you get more extra seconds.
That is unbelievable, that you can rest on that incline, hanging all your weight on one hand, and you call that a rest. And we see now Vilma making her way.
Yeah, I say Vilma when we cross by, put it speed up. He need to put a speed up.
Yeah, she needs to hurry up if
Yeah.
she's hoping to top the route.
Yeah, it's looking good.
And women have 6.5 minutes, so she's taking around half of the time. A bit more. You can see this is a long reach.
Oh. Yeah.
She decided to go for the fast dyno style move, and that cost her.
Yeah.
It's a long reach. It's a very long reach. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and
Thank you.
excellent climb, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congratulations. And for the men, we have now Jan Monzelewski.
He's a climber from Poland.
So Jan, he was telling me that he has his own company. He's an entrepreneur where he makes axes and blades and picks for dry tooling. So
And it
that's
looks like
custom
he
made.
has another sort of protrusion or another area for
Yeah.
a handle.
Call it what you
on
will.
this
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a name for that even?
I would call it a handle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has 3 handles on it, and
Yeah.
they're all relatively low compared to other tools that I've seen. So maybe that gives him more stability when he uses the 3rd handle. It's I would love to try them.
Yeah.
They look very curious.
I'm also really curious what kind of metal these axes use that can be strong enough for it. I mean, that's a lot of torque.
Yeah. Jan moves surprisingly fast past the technical part. It's already on the overhanging part on clip number 3. Interesting axis. Very interesting.
And so, of course, if you're gripping lower on the axe, you have more upward reach. But then you have maybe more to adjust before you get ready for the next move after that.
That's usually like the basic move of dry tooling ice climbing, where you reach out with the lower handle so that you can reach farther. And once you have the hold, you switch to the upper handle so that then you're higher. Next, another clip. And he looks pretty strong. He looks pretty solid. His kicks look strong. His core looks strong.
3 minutes and change into this climb.
Oh no! Oh no! That seemed to be a slip. I'm not sure what slipped. His foot, his hand. He was looking pretty strong. I think
That
his
first
feet.
axe. You think his feet?
I think his feet popped, and once you're swinging your feet down, it's really hard to stop that. You would need a lot of power. That's what happens.
Getting ready here on the women's route, we have Aniek Leith from Netherlands.
I find it pretty exciting to see another Dutch ice climbing here, because we have seen Marianne van der Steen for quite a while, and she's an excellent climber, but it's also not a very common thing to have ice climbers from the Netherlands. Not a lot of ice in there when you think about it. Not a lot of mountains or ice. So this is interesting to have more competitors from that place, and also very good. It's awesome that the sport is growing there.
And that's something we've seen a lot of people do over the course of the day. But how is it to use your hand on a hold when you're wearing gloves? Is it significantly different?
Depends on the gloves, but these gloves that we use for dry tooling, they're very thin. So you want very thin gloves to give you a little bit to give you good grip and also good feeling of what you're grabbing. You still need to wear gloves. It is cold still. You want to protect your hand, but you want them very thin. What we usually end up doing is we use golf gloves, because the sport is not big enough to have its own gloves, so we're using golf gloves. So through these gloves, you can still feel the texture relatively well.
It seems that there must be a disadvantage to going into a figure 4 here. But that would help keep your weight down.
That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. It's unclear how far away that is, because there's a limit to the reach you get with a figure 4, and it could be that it's not enough.
Close call there.
I believe you could pull off this move by locking the pick on your left shoulder. So move your body a bit to the right and lock off that arm. Around 50 seconds left. But she's making progress. She's making good progress. There's an intellect hold, which is a pretty tricky one. Also
That
wants you
small-
to pop.
That small one is
No, the previous one, the
okay.
orange one, yeah.
And then
small
how
one
about this
is-
small one? We've seen a
I'm
few
curious. It's very small, so I can't quite tell what it is. But the size of the hole doesn't necessarily mean how tricky it is. Sometimes you have tiny ones that have a super solid hole,
Yeah.
and she pops down.
And that ice pick has such precision also that the tip of it.
Excellent performance by Annick Leith. That was quite the fight. That was an excellent fight. Shows the tenacity of these athletes, even though she struggled on that move for so long. We're now going to the male competitors with Tapio Alhonso. In my limited Finnish knowledge and experience in the world of ice climbing, there have been two couples, a husband and wife, that have been fighting both for the title. It's been quite a nice, friendly fight for quite many years. And Tapio is one of them.
Aha.
He's the one. He's from the north, from Rovaniemi. So one couple's from Rovaniemi in the north, and one couple's from the south in Helsinki. Which is also, they have a little bit of rivalry.
North versus South, yes.
I believe, but they're quite good friends, and they have been quite an inspiration for all of the other ice climbers in Finland. Right, yeah, so in case that didn't sound because the mic was off, it seems that Keenan his score was lowered because when at some point he grabbed onto a quick draw. I'm not sure if it was accidentally. We didn't see it, but the main judge checked the video. They had a discussion and they decided that that was not okay. And so right now, Alberti Kaikonen is on the lead.
What a beautiful evening here in Oulu.
A little bit of rest there for his hand. You want to put that below your head, below your heart, so that it gets some blood. And this comes the drop that we've been talking about.
And when he reaches for the hold, is he kind of feeling where to put the axe on it? He's not
Yes.
thinking about grabbing it with his hand.
Yeah, correct.
But sort of doing reconnaissance work.
Yeah. And he makes the
Really
drop.
controlled.
Really controlled, really smooth. I dare say that you can see the years of experience there.
Yeah. It does not look like that he's not been training.
Again, he moves his legs first to do the hook. That looks like very good technique. And he makes a very solid move, very controlled. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. That is great. Alberti knows that he has lost that seat, but he's still smiling.
Yeah. Well, of course, you like to see your climbing family do well, so to speak.
The one where he's on, it's quite a straight line. It doesn't have any real holes in it, so it's not super solid. I personally fell from that one today. Not that one there, but one that looks just like it. So it happens. But
And he's got to keep his weight in a certain direction.
yes.
Down into the left there.
Yeah. And
The opposite of where he's reaching.
And that's... Ooh, and
Yes!
he pops just as he grabs it.
Sticks it.
He sticks the
Wow.
hole. That is a great move by Tapio Alhonso. That is great.
Whew. Let's watch it again.
He knew this could happen. He was trying to be careful. He goes for the long move, and he pops
Yes.
just in time.
And maybe we get a zoom in to see what he's actually holding on to there. Is that another stone hold?
It's another stone hold. He's moving on. This next metal one is good, at least. It's impressive the endurance that these climbers have to just keep going. It's a bit of a strange hold there. With the hands,
what
he had
are
to
we
do a
looking
hand
at
switch.
there? Hand
It's-
switch on basically a cylinder.
Yeah, I think it's
A
two
tube.
cylinders welded together. It's a bit hard to see, but he had to do a hand switch in that, and that was a bit awkward. He pulled it off. I'm not sure how much time he has left, but
Taking
he
a
has...
quick rest. I think maybe a minute and change.
I
minute
suspect less
20.
than that. This is exciting.
Yes.
He knows that, but he is tired.
Second to last hold.
He leaves the axe there for a second. Just to rest. That works.
It
as
did.
long as you don't drop it. Don't drop it. He has one more.
Oh,
One
yes.
more to go.
Placing the feet.
I believe that's the last quick draw he has to clip.
45 seconds left at most.
And he makes the last.
Yes.
And I believe that's a top. I
It
believe that
is.
is the first top of the day. Leaves the axe behind. Who cares? He topped the
At
route.
that point, you don't need to stay with your axe. Really nice climb there.
That is a magnificent climb by Tapio Alfonso. You can see the very controlled drop as he stops a bit of the swing there with the leg. It all matters. You don't want to just drop and swing. You want to stop it as much as possible. And that's the hand switch that we were talking about.
And
If
the
you
last
see
hold.
the last hold is not
metal
super
one.
pretty. It's
No.
a metal ball,
Maybe not what you'd like to see.
but he sticks it.
And quite happy. He looks very happy.
And he has earned it.
And over here, starting the women's route, Mira Alfonso.
And it is no coincidence that the last names are the same.
So this is
this is
the
Tapio's
power
wife.
climbing couple of the north.
Yes, correct. Mira was also very humble about not being trained this year and putting much more effort on the dog this time around than on training. But she seems solid.
Yes, moving quickly and smoothly, looks confident.
And we're honored by a visit from Tapio Alfonso. Awesome. Let's put the mic in. And we can watch together how Mira climbs.
That's cool. I'll have to grab some water first. if
Yeah,
it's okay.
please do. I suspect you might be thirsty and out of air. Oh, we see a figure on the women's route. I think this is the first time we see that.
Well, she likes to do figures, so.
That's her thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So a figure on an overhang and a figure on a straight wall have very different meanings, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Figure of 4 on a vertical wall, you mostly do it to stabilize the pick. Whereas on an overhang, it's a replacement for a foothold
Yeah.
sometimes. Oh, that's nice. She's climbing well.
She's climbing so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. She's doing great.
She might not be the. Oh no.
The small.
Yeah, that's why I was,
We saw you. We saw you there. We commented on that, how you looked at that 3, 4, 5 times. And in the end, it popped at just the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
second. How did that feel?
Well, I was really surprised it held to the top hold, but yeah, there was a bit of luck involved.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be a very delicate move. It's a really, really long reach, right?
Yeah, it's a long reach, and I couldn't lock it, so I had to do a sort of a dyno, like
Okay.
a semi-dynamic move.
Semi-dynamic.
Yeah.
On a crappy hold, going
Yeah.
to a bad hold.
Yeah.
Or was it a bad hold afterwards?
Well, it's not a bad hold when you get the pick right, but it's not good
Yeah.
at first.
I can see that. I can see that. And 30 seconds ago, we started with another competitor, male competitor, Kuutti Heikkilä.
And he's from Finland also.
He is also a Finn, also from the north. Well, originally from Helsinki, but has been living in Rovaniemi for a while. And it's funny that he was also giving me the speech about I haven't trained this year and I haven't. It's not.
A
This is my
common
first
refrain.
competition this year, and he's in the finals. He did great in the qualifiers.
I'm not sure if our takeaway should be to stop training.
So apparently, according to Tapio, the overhang was straightforward. He said straightforward climbing, which I guess what he means by that is that there are no big tricks, big surprises that you could do technically wrong. But we still have different styles. As we just saw, Kuutti did not do a figure from this move. Most of the other climbers did a figure to get to the red hole. So you can still climb it in different ways. I suspect the figure would take a little bit more power from your hand, but also would make it a bit more stable to reach, whereas this one he has to do a more dynamic reach for it. But both work.
And so it's a very quick set change from the qualifying route to this finals route, which has been planned and set up and tested ahead of time, but then mostly hidden
Yeah.
or not up at all earlier in the day. So spectators here were able to see the team actually setting up the route or unveiling holds that were behind sort of a fabric screen.
Correct. So I believe the Krukonogi team came already at the beginning of the week. They already had an idea of what they wanted to set up because they know the tower. They have been here before. And on Thursday, the tower was officially closed for non-route setters, for non-staff. Oh, we see the hole there. That looks so tricky.
Yes, it does.
Others had to be taken down and put. He hammers the hole in, the pick in.
Other functions of an ice axe include hammer.
If you remember what that hold looks like, it's this little cylinder that would pop out. And so I guess he put a lot of force and it moved a bit, and that made it dangerous.
And it's still moving.
And he wanted to make sure it was at the very end of it. And that is a shame. Guti goes down. Now, you were asking before about this arret strategy. If you look at how he climbed, he didn't use this idea. He was going from the right.
Let's see this.
Trying to go up. And I guess that's not the best way because of how the hold is, right? If you keep moving up in that, you're pulling eventually just because of where your weight is. You're pulling, and there it comes.
So maybe to have the axe flipped.
I don't think that would work.
You don't think either?
No, I don't think that would work. I think the right way was to go on the other side of the wall, to move all the way to the right, like Tapio and Keenan did. And so Katerina is an experienced, very experienced ice climber with 5 years of World Cup tours. And she told me that she felt like trying out a new place this year, trying out Oulu. She's from Russia, living in Moscow now.
But what I see her doing is she actually already has the hold and then seems to be checking to see how she should go about moving once she's got her axe on it already.
Which is something super interesting there, that she had her feet. Okay, now she's moving them up, indeed. Everyone has had them on top of the box, but she didn't reach.
And how about these boxes for the feet? Is it significantly different in terms of how you get your crampons into it?
Yes, because with that angle of a box, you don't even need to get your crampons that much in. They will just stick to it. So that does help. Makes it easier. Something that you tend to see with this more experienced climbers is that they know how long their body is, how long their arms are, the tools are, so they know how high they have to put their feet. Beginners, they tend to rearrange their feet many times as before or as they make a move because they misjudge the length.
Yeah.
But the more experienced climbers, we see them very accurate. Put the leg, move forward. And the leg is exactly where she wants it. And this is the same move where Mira Alhonsuo had issues.
Little foot pivot here.
It is a tricky move.
Getting the hip in for that reach.
We see how she drops the knee on the rack to keep
Yeah.
closer to the wall. That is very, very good technique, very good form. She makes the hold and it puts her in the lead.
So on the top part of this wall, it's a little more overhung.
It's also interesting that this is the same route for men and women now. This end.
Yes. Yeah.
She makes the long reach. She is doing great. Yeah, she takes it with a hand like the rest have done before. Now she has to do the hand switch.
Hand switch.
Давай, Katya, давай. The Cloud
Second
is
to
pretty
last
excited.
hold. Yes.
And it seems like she's going to be the first to top it from the female side.
Going
clip
for the
to
last
go.
clip. A lot of pressure on the rope now. That's not easy.
She's unclear, but
Maybe time.
maybe time. Yeah, she looked down. I guess it could have been time. Women only have 6.5 minutes, so that does run out quite quick. Excellent performance by Ekaterina Vlasova. Puts her in the lead of the female lead. Climbing finals. We see Dennis right away, right off the bat. He is in a hurry. He skips a hold. You went straight from the hanging volume, ignore that side pull, and let's just go.
And he's from Netherlands.
And we have with us Katerina Vlasova. How are you feeling, Katerina?
Hello. I really like the route. Very technical, some long moves. So maybe I can climb a little bit faster. So blue hold not so good.
Yes,
And,
we know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
The other
yeah.
competitors have had a lot of issues with that.
Yeah,
too.
and I was so scared to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, and stone not was very good too. So and the move really long, especially for me because I quite high
Yeah.
woman. So
I think I will let you take your breath back.
Okay.
You seem pretty tired, and you should enjoy sitting on the
Okay.
throne.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
If you're already topping the routes, then it's about time. Already, Tapio topped the route, so if Dennis is hoping to, oh, this is a new thing. We have not
Yes.
seen this.
Not here.
There is an extra hold there that nobody else has used, and that allows him to avoid the big drop.
Yes.
But it costs him time. We can
As
see
he
how
switches
much
those
time.
axes. But maybe you save that energy before you go into these technical moves.
Yes, indeed. It's always a challenge, a trade-off. That hold on the 13 is very, very interesting. Jamming your pick right between those two little metal balls. And now he's going to the big move that we've been talking about. The one that, oh, and it is slippery. You can see. He just slipped off it, but was still with his right hand solid, so he's
Oh.
okay. This is very interesting. This is a very close competition because he has a similar amount of time left than Tapio had when he was up there. It is not clear to me what's going to happen.
It's really amazing what these axes can grab onto.
Yeah. Next clip 18. Well, you can tell that he's tired. Takes a little bit too long on those moves, but he's almost there.
Big reach for the clip here. Only one more to go.
One more clip and the final move. He definitely has the time. The question is, will he beat Tapio? Oh, he puts the foot solid there, and
Yeah.
he sticks it. Solid,
Really
solid
nice.
climb by Dennis van Hoek from the Netherlands. Nice finish.
Yes.
Very elegant with the foot there.
Really?
Even though it popped at the end, that was a bit
Yeah.
dangerous.
But he's on there solidly.
He's solid. No question about it. That was a solid top. And like we were saying before, this is the other half of the duo. Enni is from Helsinki,
The Southern Power couple.
the Southern Power couple. Although we don't actually need to talk about couples because both men and women, they are excellent athletes in their own right.
Yes.
Enni has been working pretty hard lately to inspire and train the new generation of ice climbers.
How so?
She's been working as a coach for younger climbers. I think many of the young climbers that we saw today at the youth competition were her proteges. We've seen one climber pop from that hold at the beginning.
But most people have gotten it.
Yeah, yeah. We also saw, I think we saw Katja there check it with her hand real quick to make sure that it was solid.
And she's almost at the point where the routes converge.
Yes, one more Stein pull. That's where Dennis came down to take a rest. And that looks so sketchy. That looks so tricky. We've seen people pop there. We know it can happen. She knows that too.
But,
Oh. And it was her foot that popped. That was such a surprise. I guess she was trying to be too careful and didn't kick in hard enough. Focusing too much on her hands. Yeah. That kick was not solid enough and it comes down.
Yeah.
That is such a shame.
What's the Finnish version of après?
Oh no! Please don't test me on my finish. Let's skip that. Let's just watch Pauli climb.
We'll have to ask him when he comes in for his interview. How often are new kind of categories of holds designed for dry tooling?
I think all the time. I'm not really an expert in that sense. I don't know all the holds in the world, of course, but the one that Keenan was mentioning at the beginning, the tricky part on the arret on the male's route, just on the clip 13, the two metal balls that were fused together. I hadn't seen that before this year. It's actually super important to try all the different holds in all different positions and places and get acquainted with the limits of them, how much you can pull in what directions.
And I bet the holds change substantially depending on the surface, the direction of the surface that they're on. Really nice, graceful swing there. And we'll see how he approaches this next move.
Is he trying to get it as an undercling? Well,
We haven't seen that before, have we? Either.
No, and
He decided against
Yeah,
it.
he decided against it. I think that's a good one. He does not even do a figure on it. That looked very, very nice.
Really?
Even
It looked
more
easy,
controlled
and there's no
than-
way that
than
was
the ones
easy.
before. Yes. So the fact that he was able to put his foot on the wall before letting go means there was no heavy, violent drop. I bet that saved him a lot of power.
This makes you wonder how much extra power and control you get from your pinky finger being on the ends. Can we dispense with that and have extra reach forever?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like when I'm ice climbing, I need the help of all my fingers.
Yes. So really impressive that these athletes can do that.
Quick shake.
Again, taking this so that he doesn't have to do the hand switch.
Yeah, it's those little things that make a difference. They accumulate, they save time, they save energy. It's all about planning your move.
And a few seconds doesn't seem like a lot at the beginning of 10.5-minute time, but it ends up being crucial.
It does. I just heard someone shout that he has 2 minutes left.
Wow.
Over 2 minutes left. That is impressive timing.
Really is.
I think the route setters must be really, really happy that it was just one climber that got that much time left.
So he just has to get this last hold here. Oh, nice.
Figure.
Very
That
nice.
is beautiful. Oh no. Oh no.
No.
I'm not sure what that means for. I'm not sure. We've had problems with people holding quick draws. He drops the axe. It's still there, but it's on the quick draw.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Oh no. And happy as always.
Well, you have to be happy with a climb like that.
He did spectacularly.
We'll see again what happened.
It got stuck on the chain there on the quick draw. That
You
is
can't predict that happening.
that is
can
such
you?
bad luck. And we have our very last climber of the evening, Marianne van der Steen from the Netherlands.
Really strong climber. She's had a great day so far.
And she's also a super experienced climber. She has over 10 years of competition experience behind her.
Maybe one of the longest careers.
Yeah, I think so.
Guys, this is your fault. How can I climb when it's the wrong way around?
Oh no, something happened there.
She clipped in wrong.
No, she did not clip in wrong. She started climbing wrong
To begin with.
to begin with.
Oh no.
And it was not, she's claiming it was not her fault.
How frustrating. Regardless.
Oh no.
Does she have to go down now?
I mean, she couldn't have down climbed. That was, I have no idea how the
Oh.
judges are gonna handle this.
Yes. Maybe she'll get another shot.
It's the final
But
round.
it is the finals.
I don't know. She touched. Okay, it looks like they're gonna give her another chance. This is good.
This is good. Although mentally, after that, it's a little funky way to start.
I mean, if someone has the mental strength, it should be her. She's not a beginner.
Yes.
But yeah, that was.
Maybe it adds fuel to the fire in a way.
I hope they reset the timer. I don't know about that. So many questions. I have so many questions.
Oh, here's the timer, 6:11.
Yeah.
So, yeah, full reset. That's
they
good.
reset. That's good.
Great.
I think it's so easy to forget at this point of the night that many of these holds are not easy. They just make
No.
it look easy.
In fact, maybe none of them are easy.
This intellect hold where she is right now caused so much havoc on the qualifiers today.
I was wondering how this changes with light changing. And the tower's lit, but not necessarily evenly.
All right, she's getting to the tricky part. Interesting that they have not seen each other struggle there, but they know it's tricky. They take
When they get to
a
this
moment.
point.
Yeah. They feel it with the hand. They try to take it on the very top. Marianne is also taking it really high.
Ah, and both picks on there. Getting
And
some
she reaches
cheers.
odd. Yes, I believe she
Is she
got it.
in? Yes.
No.
Oh,
She had it straight forward, like with the pick facing forward, where everyone else wrapped it. They wrapped the pick around it.
ah.
you
so
see,
let's
yes.
see.
Instead of having the head against the wall, she has the tip there on
And
the
so
hole.
when she needs to move,
That's I think that's not how you hold that. And I guess unless there are any surprises by the judges, then we have our finalists, the winners.
seems so.
We know at least who has been sitting on the throne up to now because of Paulis mix-up with the quick draw at the end. He doesn't get the lead, and that means that it's Tapio Alonso and Ekaterina Vlasova.
Great climbs by both.
Great climbs indeed. I think the live stream will be ending quite soon.
Thanks for joining us here in Oulu, Finland.
I have been Daniel Herrera.
I'm Ann Jancha.
Thank you very much and good night.